Alright, folks, welcome to another episode of Andrew's Life. This story I'm getting ready to share with you guys is out of DeKalb County, Georgia. And this story is going to be about a woman who is serving in the United States Army as a sergeant. She owns a home, I believe it's in the city of Atlanta. And she's trying to sell it. She was stationed in Chicago. And while she was in Chicago, her realtor in Atlanta gave her a call and let her know that someone has took it upon themselves to break into her home and start squatting. So let's see what they got to say about this.
Army officer is now back in her home after a squatter moved in while she was serving active duty, and the process to get him out was anything but easy. This is how it all started. Lieutenant Colonel Dally DuRay is with the U.S. Army Reserve. She was stationed in Chicago. That's her house in Atlanta. She claims that while she was on duty, this man, Vincent Simon, who has a lengthy criminal history, including convictions for drugs and guns and theft, moved into her home, started squatting there. This is a beautiful home, $500,000. DuRay says that she had never met him, and then fast forward, she couldn't get him out of her own home. Delia is with us this morning with an update on the situation. Joining us,
All right, well, for starters, I am extremely happy that the woman was able to get her home back. As you guys heard, her house is worth over $500,000. Which will put you in a darn nice neighborhood in DeKalb County in Georgia. Now you guys can see the mugshot of Pookie here. I mean, that's not his name, but you know, that's the nickname I give him. You can see a mugshot of Pookie, a degenerate, good-for-nothing piece of crap that doesn't want to get a job and work and be a law-abiding citizen. He'd rather break into people's houses and squat and live for free. Now, for those of you that as a quick disclaimer here, I am not a lawyer. So if you want to know more details about the real estate laws in your state, consult with a real estate attorney in your state. But as I understand it, if you have a situation like this woman had, to where someone breaks into your house and they start squatting, it is not a criminal matter. It is a civil matter. Now, if you're in your house and someone just busts in on you, then that's a criminal matter. But if you're away doing whatever you do and you don't have eyes on your house and someone busts in your house and they start squatting, they move all their crap in and they do whatever they do, most people would call the cops and get the law in the mix. I mean, I know some of us would do other stuff, but I'm not getting into that. But this woman, she's a law-abiding citizen. She called the law. She called the law to get involved in this type of stuff. And when law enforcement went over to her house initially, they basically told her that there was nothing they could do because what she is going through was considered a civil matter, not a criminal matter. Which is what the story will reveal in a minute when I get to play it again. When I get to playing it again. So, let this be a warning for all of you that own multiple homes. That it is paramount that you have an extra set of eyes on your house at all times. Rather it be a home security system that is connected to your phone. That way you get notifications if anything's going on with your house. or rather it be one of your neighbors or a close friend that you know and trust. And honestly, just to make, just to help assure that they actually look over your house, typically what I do is I might either consult with one of my neighbors and pay them a little bit of money, or I might consult with someone who I know, who's my friend, who I trust, pay them a little bit of money, and then and then basically they'll just watch my house. They'll do perimeters every day, just to make sure there's no busted windows, there's no doors kicked in, there's no signs of anyone that's in the house that shouldn't be in the house. FYI, for those of you that own multiple properties. And as you guys can also see, it doesn't matter what neighborhood you live in. You can live in the hood, or you can live somewhere like where this woman's at, which is clearly a decent area. I mean, her house is worth over $500,000, and even in Atlanta, that's still a pretty damn good neighborhood. So, no matter where you live, you still want to remain vigilant when it comes to your home. Let's continue.
I believe are you from outside your house in Atlanta right now, Thalia?
Yes, I am.
Oh my gosh. When I was reading your story the last couple of days, I was frustrated for you. And everybody I talked to felt the same way. What's the update now? Do you have access to your home?
Yes. With the help of the sheriff department and the marshals, I used the intruder warrant to get this person out of my home. They came this morning and did a knock. He left peacefully, however, he is now in jail, got arrested.
Okay, so take me back to the beginning of this. You moved out of your home to go serve active duty. How did he get in?
All right, folks. Whatever state you're going to be residing in, or you're going to be owning real estate in, every state operates a little different. Some states will have a special clause to where, in order to evict the squatter, you don't have to go through a regular eviction process. They got laws in place to where you can get that person out a lot quicker. Because if you're in a state to where you have to go through regular eviction processes, it could be in upwards of 6 months before you get your house back, and by then your house might be nothing but a shell. So, and again, I'm not a lawyer, so whatever state you're going to be residing in, consult your real estate attorney. All right, let's keep going.
In the first place.
I'm still trying to figure that out. Last Tuesday when I came here and spoke to him, he told me that the keys were mailed to him along with the lease by this person named Duffy. And I asked him, who is Duffy? He did not explain it. He also stated that he went through Georgia MLS and paid $19,000 to Ashley Lane. However, the number on the lease does not exist. The address for Georgia MLS does not exist. So I'm not sure how he got it. I really don't know.
And what was that moment when you realized he's in your house, you can't get him out, you essentially can't get in? I mean, what was that initial interaction when you realized?
All right. You heard that woman. Basically, what she said in many words is, the individual that took it upon himself to break into her house, most likely he went online and he was able to copy a fictitious lease agreement, which is most likely what he showed law enforcement, and he showed her as well, as you guys heard. Now, anyone that's got a modicum of a brain cell will realize that that dude, he bogus as hell. I mean, I don't know exactly how things go when it comes to the rental market in Georgia, but I'm pretty sure most people who are renting in Georgia are not paying $19,000 down as a security deposit. That's bogus. But just understand that there's a lot of folks out here who will submit a lease agreement that is fictitious. All you gotta do is go online. Sometimes you can get them for free, sometimes you gotta pay a little bit of money. But they're there and available for all your degenerates that want to be criminals. Let's keep going.
Man, my hands are tied. I have a few options.
At first, I was really angry and frustrated because when the DeKalb County Police came here, they said it was a civil matter, and I had to go to court to evict him. Now, I'm the homeowner. I have my lien, my deed, the title to my home, the mortgage, right? My name does not appear on this fictitious lease. And I can't tell you to leave. I can't make you leave. I have to go to the courts to get him to leave. I think that's unfair. There's no justice in that. None whatsoever. There's no justice in that. However, had I not gone to the news media, this would not have occurred right now. And homeowners need to know that there is a law in Georgia. It's a Title 44, 1130, the intruder's warrant, that you can use. It's an affidavit you file with the court, and after 3 days, the sheriff department can put out the intruder.
How long was he in your house, Dahlia?
He moved in May 1st, and it was May 1st that I discovered he was here.
Okay.
The house was under contract, and my real estate agent, Mr. Knox, tried to get the covenant from the Homeowners Association. And in doing so, they sent her a picture of the beware of dog signs in the front of the yard, as well as some sheets and some shower curtains in the living room area, because I had taken out all the blinds out of the house.
So it's my understanding you were getting ready to sell the house. Have you been back inside it now to see kind of how things look? What's going on in there?
I have. It's disturbing. It's disgusting. They were eating inside the master bedroom. They have food all over. They have mattresses.
All right, people. Now, for those of you that are familiar with the quote-unquote black community, now for starters, the community in which this house is located in, I'm going to assume it's a good community, and I'm going to assume that the majority of the people there are decent people. They're hardworking, because you're not going to live in a community like that by being a slouch, for the most part. So, you see, those of you that are familiar with many black communities throughout the United States, there's an unspoken rule in the streets called no snitching. Now, I think that rule is dumb. It needs to disappear. I mean, it's the dumbest rule out here. It does not help the community one iota. Instead, it damages the community. It keeps the community down. So, me personally, I never subscribed to the no snitching policy. I never had, never will. I think it's dumb. And this story right here, as far as I'm concerned, is a prime example of the reason why the no snitching policy in the black community needs to disappear. Because a lot of crimes like this will happen if people if people don't bother to report these type of situations to law enforcement immediately. Now, granted, if this person who broke into her home, if someone would have spotted him and immediately called law enforcement, at that time it would have been a criminal matter. He would have been arrested and thrown in jail at that point. But since no one bothered to call the law, it turned in. I mean, rather than him being arrested for breaking in her house, he turned in. Basically, he went from. I mean, basically, because no one called the cops on this man right away, he was able to stay in that house and squat. And then, rather than it being a criminal matter, it became a civil matter. So let's continue this video. I just wanted to inject my little, I guess you can say, opinion of how I feel about the no snitching, whatever they call it.
On the floor, and also they had controlled substances in my house.
Okay, and you say they, so in addition to the man who was squatting there and arrested, there were other people in there too?
There was another gentleman that I had never seen him before. When I came here last Tuesday, he was not here. I had heard that there was a pregnant woman here on May 1st, but I had never seen her. She wasn't here. It was Vincent Simon and another gentleman. I do not know his name.
I'm glad you got back real quick. How much has this cost you? I mean, in addition to the stress and the frustration, it's costly. You're trying to sell your home, now you have to clean it up.
Yes, I'm looking at about $3,000 at the onset. And I also have to do some painting and a lot of cleaning because the house reeks of marijuana.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider, and don't forget to